Hey, I hope everyone has had a wonderful holiday season. And now it's 2017, and I hope you're ready to get back into some really good stuff. And today is more of a leadership story than anything else, although it's going to start with a diversity thing. So, you may not know this, but on Twitter, I have basically messages that I send out 4 times a day during the week and twice a day on the weekend. Some are motivational messages, some are leadership lessons, some are diversity, some are on customer service, all the different things that I talk about in business. So one of the messages that I had go out on Saturday, which was New Year's Eve, was a diversity message. And so, it goes out there and it's just out there and it doesn't really mean anything. And then I had someone who decided to respond to that particular message. And it was basically a rant about how diversity is actually a system that people are setting up to put down the white man. So I thought about it for a bit, and then I decided, you know what, I'm just going to write a little brief response. Basically, the response I wrote, because I don't remember the exact wording of it, was, well, if you feel so threatened by others because you're a white man, then that's an issue you have to deal with. And then, instead of blocking him, I muted him. And the reason I muted him is because when you mute somebody, they may try sending out message after message after message, but you don't see it. So in essence, you make them waste their time rather than blocking them, in which case, if he had tried to respond to it, it would have just bounced. And I decided I didn't want to give him that kind of satisfaction. Now, I'm leading with that story because you find out that when you're out among people, not just people you know or whatever, but among people, whether you're at work, whether you're out at the store, or maybe you're at a party, you will always find somebody who, for whatever reason, is going to try to get your goat. They're going to try to upset you. They're going to try to throw off your natural balance. And quite often, we respond by trying to argue with them and fight back with them. And, we have our certain points of view. And whereas there are some things that are worth discussing and trying to let people know where you stand, I think that 2016, if it's taught me anything, it's that there are just those times where you just need to move on and let people have their thoughts and keep your own peace of mind and your own dignity and move on and get on with life. And I think we can do that without totally blocking everybody. For instance, there's a lot of people on Facebook I'm connected to who I'm connected because of different, reasons. But I didn't want to totally block them because they're saying stuff that I don't care about or that I totally disagree with. And I don't want to get into that kind of thing. I don't get on social media because I want to fight with people all the time. So, in essence, what I did is I muted them. So they can put out anything they want to, but I don't see it. At the same time, I don't have them seeing anything I put out because I don't want them commenting on everything that I say either. And you can do that. Now, you can't do that on LinkedIn or Google Plus yet. But since LinkedIn's trying to become Facebook, I'm sure they'll have that at some point. I don't think Google cares one way or the other. Still, as my wife likes to say, it's up to us to decide what we're going to let come into our life and what we're going to let upset us and how we're going to deal with it. And I thought that was a very important leadership thought as well, because quite often when you're in a leadership position, you have to deal with people who may outrank you, people who are basically your peers, and those people who report to you. And quite often, they will find ways to try to challenge you. And if you rise to the bait without thinking first and deciding on the proper course of action, you can look like an idiot. And I think sometimes people revel in that fact. I'm not going to lie. I used to do that. When I was in management, every once in a while, I would run up against someone who would just want to make a federal case out of something that I thought was nonsense. And every once in a while, I said, you know what? Okay, you want to see what this is like? I'm going to show you what this is like. And so I did. And most of the times, they didn't like it. And, people don't like being shown that they've just done something that's stupid. but it happens. And not that it was nice. I mean, it probably wasn't nice of me to do that, but sometimes you got to show people. You have to show people their thoughts on things aren't proper. I hate to do it, but sometimes you have to. Well, it's the same with this other stuff. You don't have to rise to that level. You can turn around, you can go another way, you can totally ignore it, or you can do like I do. You act like you listen to it, and you're really not. You go ahead and you do your own thing. When you're in business, of course, there are certain things you definitely have to do, and there's certain things you have to address. But if it's not critical, you know what? You get to make the choice on how you're going to handle it. And that's basically all I have to say today. So this is a very short leadership thing. I'd like to know what your thoughts are. And, this is not a new sweater, but, it's cold outside. Anyway, my name is Mitch Mitchell. Let me know your thoughts. I hope you have a wonderful week.